Hello, and thank you for using Geomagic Essentials. Today we're going to be talking about how to create a watertight mesh model. To start, let's import our model. Up in the top left-hand corner, I'll select the 3ds logo button, then select Import. I'll select the file, then select Open. The software then displays a unit pop-up asking me to specify the units for the data. In this case, we'll leave it on millimeters because that's the units that I scanned in. Then I'll select OK. The next pop-up that is displayed is the Mesh Doctor pop-up. It asks me if I want to run the Mesh Doctor tool right away. I'll select No this time because first I want to turn off the texture. To turn off the texture on the mesh, go to the Display tab next to the Model Manager tab on the top left-hand side of your screen. Scroll down to the Texture checkbox and uncheck it. The model then will turn blue, which is the standard color for mesh models inside Geomagic Essentials. Next, I'll run the Mesh Doctor tool. In the Scan Tools ribbon, in the Repair group, select the Mesh Doctor tool. This tool will automatically run and identify errors in the model in the dialog box. It will also display errors on the model in red. Select Apply to run the command. This may have to be run a couple times. Once there are no errors, select OK to exit the command. Next, I'll want to fill holes. We will be doing this in several ways. First, I want to make the bottom as flat as possible. To do this, I need to put down some reference geometry. I'll start by best fitting a circle to the bottom boundary. In the Model Ribbon tool, I'll select Circle dropdown and then select Natural Boundary option. I'll then highlight the boundary. The software will automatically best fit a circle to that boundary. Then I'll use the circle to place a plane. Again, in the Model Tool ribbon, I'll select the Plane dropdown. Then I'll select the Perpendicular to Axis option. In the dialog box, I'll set the axis as Circle 1, and then I'll set a point as close as possible to the bottom of the mesh. This will put down a plane that I can then use to roughly square my part. To roughly square my part, I'll first orient the model so that the plane is parallel to my view. Then, to correct the angle, I will left-click and drag on the outside of the viewing window to make the plane straight. To verify the plane is roughly straight, I'll move the model down towards the bottom of the viewing window and line it up with the border of the viewing window. Once the mesh is roughly aligned to my view, I'll use the Box Selection tool to trim the model. On the right-hand side toolbar, select the Box Selection button. Towards the bottom of the right-hand side toolbar, select the Through All tool. This will allow the selection to go all the way through the model. Next, I'll make a selection on the bottom of the model, then delete it to make the bottom of the boundary roughly straight. If I zoom in, I can see the boundary is still jagged. We can compensate for this by using the Modify Relax Boundary tool in the Scan Tools ribbon. In the Modify Relax Boundary dialog box, I'll set the iteration to 100. This will smooth the bottom boundary, which will give me a better mesh surface. Now I'm ready to fill the holes in the Fill Single tool in the Scan Tool ribbon. In addition, I'll also change the fill method to flat. Once the large hole is filled on the bottom of the helmet, I can then start filling in the other holes individually. Again, I'll select the Fill Single tool in the Scan Tools ribbon. Then, after locating the next hole to fill, I'll change the fill method to the middle option, Tangent. Without leaving the Fill Single tool, I'll navigate to the next hole to be filled and fill it, changing the method if needed. I do not need to leave the Fill Single tool as long as I'm filling individual holes. Finally, the last hole is too large to fill all at once, so I need to remove some polygons to split the hole up into sections. To do this, I'll unselect the Select Backface Mode tool in the right-hand side toolbar. I'll also change my selection mode to the Lasso Selection tool. Then I'll select the area to be deleted. Deleting has caused some triangles to be free-floating. I'll deal with them in a bit. Now I want to fill the bottom portion of the hole. To do this, I'll change the fill type to Bridge. This option can be found in the Scan Tools ribbon in the Fill Single tool below the Fill Methods options. Then I'll select a point on one side left click and drag to the opposite side. Additionally, if I want to create a point-to-point bridge, simply click on one point and then click on the point on the opposite side. Once the separation and bridging is complete, I can now fill the holes using the complete fill type and the curvature fill method. Lastly, I need to remove any free-floating polygons from our model. To do this, select the Manifold dropdown in the Scan Tools ribbon. Then select the Make Manifold Open tool. The software will automatically remove any polygons that are not closed volumes. We now have a watertight polygon mesh. Today we talked about how to create a watertight mesh model using various tools in Geomagic Essentials. Thank you for using Geomagic Essentials.